Hello and welcome to the Penno Channel for this match preview for Aston Villa versus Ipswich Town in the Premier League on Sunday. Before we start, if you could like, subscribe and comment. And also, if you'd like to become a member, click the link in the chat or the link in the description below. I'm joined here with my bro to go through all things Villa before this big game against Ipswich on the weekend. Bro, how's your week been? Weather was absolute madness today. I hope you didn't get caught up in it. But yeah, how you doing, bro? Maybe you're still caught up in this weather. You there? Yo? I think he's having technical issues at the moment. We'll wait for him to come back. Shout when you're there, bro. Just shout up. So yeah, another big game for Villa. They're coming thick and fast at the minute. Ipswich away. The Tractor Boys returning to the Premier League after back-to-back promotions. Kieran McKenna, the manager there, has done a phenomenal job getting them up from League One. Is no easy feat to the Championship. And then in the next year, getting them from the Championship straight into the Premier League is an absolutely incredible feat. And they were thoroughly deserving on it. They were right up there throughout the season and managed to capture that promotion into the Premier League. Kieran McKenna, I remember his time with Michael Carrick as backroom staff for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at Manchester United. Now, it was weird that time under Ole and United because they didn't really have such a style of play, but they had Carrick and McKenna working alongside him, kind of orchestrating things and helping with the side. I do remember when Ole got sacked though, and Carrick took charge for a few games, and McKenna was his assistant. They did really well, and there was some considerations for Carrick to get the permanent job. But as we know now, Michael Carrick went off to Middlesbrough, and Kieran McKenna went off to Ipswich, and they both did phenomenal jobs at the clubs. We all know regarding Michael Carrick and how close he got to getting Middlesbrough promotion when they signed Aaron Ramsey and Cameron Archer off us on loan. But Kieran McKenna's done a fantastic job and getting Ipswich back into the league after so many years. I remember the days of Marcus Stewart playing for Ipswich back a day, Kieran Dyer being at Ipswich as well. A number of players that they used to have, and when they managed to get into the UEFA Cup through the league, I remember that old Ipswich. So to see him back in the league is great to see. I don't know if you're back, bro.
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry about that, guys. The weather's crazy outside, so lost connection. But yeah, bro, heard what you were saying about McKenna and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm back now.
Having a little catch. Do you remember his time? You remember when he was like part of the backroom staff at United for Ole? He was there with Michael Carrick as well. They were all underneath Ole, and McKenna and Carrick kind of got a little bit of the slack. So obviously, it was a tough time for United, and Ole didn't really have a style of play as such. But yeah, after they both left, obviously with Ole being sacked, they both went on to get championship jobs, and they both kind of done really good jobs. And obviously, Kieran McKenna's taken it to the next level.
Yeah, Ipswich got promoted last season, and their start's been a bit weird this season. They've played 5, they haven't won yet, but they've drawn 3 games. They've lost 2. I think their issue this season so far has been with scoring. Like if you look at their XG, they're bottom for that. They've only scored 3 goals, and they conceded a lot of chances as well. However, their result away at Brighton was quite impressive to leave there with a point. So it's going to be a tough game, but hopefully we get the points because I think we will be favourites for it.
Yeah, let's get into their games because I think the majority of people who follow the Premier League would have watched their game against Liverpool. It was obviously a big game for Ipswich for their return for so many years. And you're always looking, there's always a top side that faces a newly promoted side in the first weekend. And sometimes it can be a sticky situation for the top side because the promoted side, the atmosphere, the fans are there. Portman Road absolutely filled to the rafters because it's their return to the Premier League. The atmosphere was on top. And for the first half, Ipswich were sticking it on Liverpool and really showing what they were about. Trying to cause them problems with their set piece play. We'll go on to Jacob Greaves and that signing from Hull. But yeah, he's a real imposing threat from set pieces, and they have some quality in terms of like Amari Hutchinson with the deliveries, and they were really trying to impose themselves in that game. Second half, obviously, I think it got to them a bit, and Liverpool actually just started to dominate, and it could have been more than the 2-0 scoreline it was. But since that game, and since playing away to Man City, which is no easy feat, they took the lead in that game, but it's City, obviously. They're going to come back. They've managed to get 3 draws out of 3 games, so they're unbeaten in the last 3. Some good draws as well. I mean, drawing away to Brighton, okay, the XG was quite high in Brighton's favour. They had a number of chances, but to keep that 1-0 is no easy feat. They managed also to get draws with Fulham, and then they probably would have had a game last week where they thought, okay, we can get our first victory of the season. I know it was away, but it's against a side who, was promoted alongside them in Southampton. And I thought from watching that, Southampton had the better of the chances and did deserve to get all 3 points.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. And just talking about how they set up, they have Leif Davis, who's their left back. He'll push on and advance. And on the other side, a familiar face, Axel Tuanzebe, does the same for them. So it'll be interesting to see how he deals with Jacob Ramsey and that whole battle with maybe Rodgers drifting over to that side as well. But yeah, Tuanzebe thriving in the Prem, man. Good to see. I'm happy for him as well. And then in the middle, they play Kajust and Morsey. And then their front 4, Schmadik, Delap, Amari Hutchinson, and Wes Burns, bro. So that threat of Amari Hutchinson, Delap, Schmadik, that's what we're going to have to deal with the most Sunday.
Yeah, we'll talk about a few of their signings and what they made. So they signed Muric and Dara O'Shea from Burnley. Burnley weren't the best last year. They got relegated. But that's 2 defensive options that they signed automatically from Burnley in itself. And then if you've watched Philogene last year playing for Hull, they had a really exciting side and they had a number of quality players, I thought. And I kind of felt with the side they had, I think Liam Rosenior kind of underperformed in a sense. I think they should have got promoted, if anything, or got very close to it. Because they had Philogene, they had Fabio Carvalho on loan, obviously, from Liverpool as well. And they had the man who will be playing up front in Liam Delap. They also had Jacob Greaves at the back, who, if you've watched much of Ipswich this season so far, he looks a very, very good defender, and he has all the attributes to be a top quality defender, if that's such. He's big, he's physical, he's dominant in the air, he's threatening from their set plays in the opposition's box, and he can also play on the ball as well. So he looks a very, very good player, and someone who, if Ipswich don't progress, I think I could see him moving on to another club. But yeah, Greaves alongside Dara O'Shea, who obviously will be used to the Premier League, having played for Burnley last season, and Muric in goal in behind them. And then, as you stated, bro, Leffy Davis through the Leeds Academy. I remember he had a loan spell at Bournemouth, I think. I don't know if it was in the promotion season for him. And then he spent the last few years at Ipswich, and he is the one who possesses that threat on the left-hand side. I think he's the one who's, in the last game, he created the most chances. He's the player they'll be looking to create from and looking to attack our right-hand side in an area which we've had a lot of problems with this season. I think that's just been a matter of fact. We saw it against Ait Nori last weekend. He managed to get down our left-hand side and our right-hand side, and cause us a lot of problems from left back. And they'll look to take that first half against Wolves, and they'll be thinking, we can use Leffy Davis' strengths to attack Villa and cause them problems down that right-hand side. But yeah, as I say, they've got 2 players from that whole side who I thought should have done much better last season in the Championship. Liam Delap's managed to get his goal this season, so he'll be looking to improve on that. And then, as you say, the 3 behind, they've got Burns, they've got Amari Hutchinson playing in behind, who was integral in their promotion chase and performance last season. He was absolute quality there. And yeah, they've got Sami Smodex, who they signed from Blackburn, who had a unreal season in the Championship, and there was a number of clubs after his signature this summer, and he ended up signing for Ipswich.
Yeah, and I think it's a great point what you said about Davis. I remember last season when he was balling in the Championship, there was calls maybe for him to get an England call up because England had Luke Shaw was out. We didn't really have left backs like that. But yeah, he's a good little player. And Smodic, I know him all too well this season, bro. Had him in my FPL team. He ain't delivered yet. Let's hope he doesn't deliver this weekend as well. But yeah, he's a good little
Surely
player.
a wild card in there. Surely.
Oh yeah, he's gone. He's gone, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like he
They're
can't.
probably back now. Watch.
Well, now that you said it, bro, I was trying to say, don't try and pull it in out there. Yeah, man. That we're gonna have to deal with that front four. But Ipswich, they've given up the most quality chances this season, so we're gonna have a lot of joy as well, and we need to take our chances.
Yeah, as I said, well, I watched quite a bit of the Southampton Ipswich game and watching it back. And Cameron Archer, who we're all familiar with, had so many chances in that game. He had an XG of like over 1 point something, 1.2, and if he had his shooting boots on, he could have got a brace minimum. Southampton, for a side who've been struggling to create as such, had a lot of chances in that game. And yeah, if they were more clinical, they could have got 3 points. So that bodes well for us. And you know, we have Ollie Watkins, we have Morgan Rogers, we have Jacob Ramsey, Leon Bailey if he starts as well. There will be a number of openings. I think it will just be the first 15, 20. They'll try and stick it on us, and there'll be kind of a siege because they'll take the positives from how Wolves played against us and in fairness, dominated the first half and try and impose themselves on us in that sense as well.
Yeah, and speaking of our attackers, I guess that's one of the biggest questions going into this week. McGinn's injured. McGinn won't be starting. What front four gets the nod? I'm interested to see. Does Duran get a start in the Premier League for the first time? Or will it be Ramsey, Watkins, Rogers, Bailey?
Yeah, what are you thinking, bro? Because obviously we've got one of the biggest games in our recent history coming up on Wednesday. Absolutely mammoth tie. So with the side we saw against Wickham, full changes. Duran got his start, Barkley got his start. The only one really was Amadou Onana starting, which was from the so-called first team. Potentially Lamar Bogard as well. Can you classify him as first team? He's been in and out, but with the Diego Carlos going off before a ball was kicked, injured, it kind of feels like Lamar Bogard's back into the side and starting at right back, if that is the case. So, yeah, how do you think we'll set up? Because as we said, that left-hand side is where they'll look to be dominant with Smodics and Leffy Davis. So, yeah, do you think we'll try and counteract that if Carlos is fit? Is it the same back four that played against Wolves? And if he's not fit, does Nedeljkovic come in, or is it Lamar Bogard? And in front of him, do we risk by starting Leon Bailey?
Yeah, I think Bailey has to start because just looking at like their pass maps and that, when Davis bombs forward, there's going to be a gap on that side for Bailey to get in behind, maybe on transition. So yeah, I think Bailey will start. Duran, bro, I'm really not... Honestly, what he's done this season, yeah, he's got a highlight reel for a whole... that some strikers getting like their whole season, like some of the goals that he scored. He's playing well, he keeps scoring. And rationally, I still think he'll be on the bench. Like, I think there's still an argument that he shouldn't start just yet because of Watkins and Rogers. And there's also an argument that, of course, 100% he should start. I think we're just in a scenario where we've got an abundance of talent and it's about managing them. And I think it'll be a case of maybe Watkins 60, Duran 30 again.
Yeah, I agree. Regarding your point with Bailey as well and starting, we all saw what happened when Bailey came on against Aït-Nouri on the weekend. He pinned Aït-Nouri back. He reduced him. He could have got a second yellow and got sent off from Bailey taking him on and attacking him. He pinned him back in his own half, and he didn't get the joy and freedom which he got in the first half. So again, if we think that Davis is going to be one of their main attacking threats from left back, starting Leon Bailey will mean that either if he starts attacking, there's going to be plenty of spacing behind for Leon Bailey. And if he doesn't and he sits in his shape, well, it means at least then we pin him back into his own half and he's not allowed to fully get forward and create. So, yeah, there's a double positive within that. So I can see Leon Bailey starting definitely on the right side. But the right back is the one for me. Because Lamar Bogard, I think we saw against Leicester with Mavididi, he got at him. Yeah, even against Everton at times, I think he was got at as well down that side by Iliman and I think he caused him problems in a number of occasions, drawing him out. So if it is Bogard starting, it's again and Young Boys as well. He came off at half time, and I think that was
he struggled. He struggled against Young Boys, didn't he? Me and you were watching that game, and we're like, Bogard might have to come off.
Yeah, for sure. And I just don't think he's a right back, and we just pin him in it, putting him in there. It's a square peg in round hole situation until Matty
Facts.
Cash is back. But yeah, if Matty Cash, I think he started training again, but I don't think he'll be ready for the weekend. If it's not Matty Cash and it's not Diego Carlos, is it Lamar Bogard or Costa Nedeljkovic?
Yeah, it could be Costa, bro. It could. Costa, I don't think he did himself too much harm against Wickham. And yeah, he might get the nod. We'll have to see, but only Emery knows, isn't it?
Yeah,
But yeah,
I
I
get the
think
feeling it might be Costa.
that is definitely our weak spot going into that game, the right back scenario.
100% it is. And with McGinn not being there on that right-hand side, you just feel like, okay, Bailey has proved that he can do the defensive work. He's proved it a number of times last season when he was playing. He was unreal defensively in his defensive actions as well. And I think he's going to need to be like that again, just because the person playing behind will be inexperienced, and that's their strength. That's their strength within that side. Smodics, Hutchinson going across to the left hand side, and Davies playing off that left as well. I think that's their key area and where they're going to look to attack us. So our right hand side needs to be on it defensively. So yeah, bro, talk to me certain ways. How do you think we can win this one then? Because as I said as well, I think the other threats that will carry is against set pieces. I said, Jacob Greaves is an absolute unit, and he'll be a threat from us. And we know we're not the best at being defensive from set pieces as well. So I think that's the way Ipswich will look to get at us. How do you think we can get at them, and where we're going to cause them problems?
Yeah, just going off the one game I've watched, I remember Salah linking up with the other Liverpool attackers was a way they broke them down. So Salah would drive into the box. He'd play a 1-2 with, I think it was Jota at the time. And then that 1-2 breaks their line. And then Salah was in behind and he scored. So if we see Bailey driving into the box, linking up with Ramsey, linking up with Watkins, little cute touches, get past their defence, that could be a way to break them down. So yeah, definitely from that side of Bailey. Going long as well. Hopefully going long can work to Tuanzebe's side. I know Tuanzebe is quite decent physically, but I think Rodgers could probably get the better of their defenders as well. Midfield battle, I'm quite confident with Tielemans and Onana. Now Tielemans just dictating play, showing composure in our build-up, hopefully, bro. I think in the end, I think we can just overpower them, create more chances, and hopefully it just leads to a win.
Yeah, I'm going to go through a few of the comments. There's some good comments in here as well. Ryan Lee's joining, said evening all. Thanks for joining, Ryan. He says, good to see you back on the right side. Yeah, we mixed it up for the last one, and you were on it and spotted it straight away, as did a number of people. Ryan's joined, thanks for joining. He said, Salt Villa fam, low-key worried about Ipswich. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough, man. The league's hard. There's no easy games in this league, and the fact that you're going to a newly promoted side who haven't got 3 points yet out of 5 games, they're going to be looking to get that 3 points in front of their home fans. It's going to be intense. It is going to be, especially the first 10-15. We're going to need to play and control the tempo and control the fans as well, because if we give them any opportunity to get the crowd up and for it to be buoyant in there, it's going to be a difficult task. Aaron joins, thanks for joining. He said another 3 points away this Sunday, lads. Let's hope so, because the games will be stacking up by playing 3 competitions right now. I'm feeling confident of the fucking Villa. Facts, Aaron. Imagine another 3 points, 15 from 18. I mean, what an absolute start that would be, And but yeah, the games do keep coming thick and fast for sure. Kevin, thanks for joining. He said, hi guys, surely it's Nedeljkovic time. Speed in defence and attack. Kevin, I do hear. I thought he had a decent game again on Wednesday. Defensively sound. Not Wednesday, sorry, Tuesday against Wickham. Yeah, he was defensively sound in his actions. Nedeljkovic currently, he doesn't do too much going forward. He kind of, he plays within his means. Obviously, he's very, very young in that sense as well. And I think as he develops, that will develop his game as well, because we know he's rapid and he's competent on the ball. But as in terms of defensive style, we've seen him against Martinelli, and I thought he had a very good game until, Trossard did score after. But I thought for 60 minutes coming in at that time, I thought he played really well. So, yeah, I could see Nedeljkovic starting as well. But I just think we have to be very defensively sound on that right side, because I think that's where their main threat will come from. and with us playing Leon Bailey in front, which I think it will be, and it will be either youngster if Carlos isn't available and Matty Cash, it will be Nedeljkovic or Bogard. I think that will be where the game's won and lost. I don't know your thoughts on that, bro.
Yeah, completely agree. I think. What do you think about the Maatsen Dean question? I think that's another
very good question.
Do we know if Dean was taken off that injury against Wolves? Was it tactical? Was that finally the time where we saw Maatsen overtake Dean's for the first one? Because I personally think Maatsen is probably the better starter, especially against Ipswich. So yeah, I do hope Maatsen starts, but we'll see on that as well. I guess defensively, Dean's probably better. I think what Maatsen brings going forward kind of overpowers that, if that makes sense.
I don't think any of the changes were, apart from McGinn, were injury based. I think that was more tactical in our setup. I think we saw the week before as well, Arnold going off and Barkley coming on at half time. My opinion is it was just tactical as such. So I do think Luca Dean will start. Whether that, I think Luca Dean and Maatsen are now just.
Oh, you think Luca Dean will start? Yeah.
Yeah, I think Luca Dean will start. I think he'll come back.
I think Maatsen will start.
Nah, I think Luca Dean will start. I think Maatsen played on the weekend, playing full 90, and then you expect him to play again. And if that is the case, and then Maatsen is then the first starting left back, do you expect him to play Bayern Munich as well?
No, I'd see Dean starting against Bayern Munich.
So you just give Dean. You think?
No. I'm just saying this is what I think Emery will do.
Okay. No, I think Dean will come back in. To be honest, I think to be fair, either or, they're just, that is a 50-50 call right now, because we saw the impact Maatsen had on. But then you might think, okay, if that is the case, why change a winning formula of bringing on Maatsen and Duran, and it's working, it still continues to work. So why change from that? I don't know what your thoughts on that, bro.
Yeah, my counter to that is always, if they had to come on, then it's because we're losing or drawing at the time, so maybe it didn't work from the start. That's always my counter to that.
Yeah, I totally hear it. And then there's always the counter of, if they start and we're losing, what's your confidence in bringing Luca Dean on and say, for instance, I don't know, if Duran was to start, Jacob Ramsey to change the game potentially, or do you know what I mean?
I think we're just getting to a case of just starting the better player. But I don't see him in training, so I can't say. But I personally just think Maatsen he just offers more, especially with the link up, the creative, his actions going forward. I just love that pass as well at the weekend against Wolves.
How did you think Maatsen played against Wickham?
Yeah, I was actually going to just address that. I don't actually think he had the best game, to be honest. I just think it's so hard to tell with when you're not used to playing with certain guys, like there's so much rotation, and I just felt the Wickham game, we just felt uneasy. He was almost like there's just no gelling, and I know Wickham rotated.
Which is understandable.
Yeah, it was just that connection just wasn't there. It was like a pre-season lineup, wasn't it?
Yeah, which is totally understandable. Rod also says, I like Duran starting, but not at the expense of Rodgers or JJ or Ollie, so it's tough. Facts. I totally agree with that as well. Even Bailey, if he does start, it's difficult, man, because you're losing in one of those players, and I think those players are just as crucial as Duran at the minute. I don't know your thoughts on that as well, bro.
Bro, just what a time to be a Villa fan. We're that spoiled for choice in attacking areas that we're we do. These are the best problems to have. I don't know which amazing striker we should start today. You know what I mean?
It's facts. Kevin says Bailey needs minutes, definitely a starter. I do agree with that. And Kevin also said Maatsen a threat on the left, another starter for me. Facts, I do agree with that. Rod, thank you for the super chat. He says, thanks for doing the pod as always at the Villa. Thanks, Rod. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you, Rod.
Kevin said, isn't Digne injured? Yeah, that's the thing. I don't think there's confirmation of. He did obviously go off at half time, but I don't think he was actually injured. I think that was more tactically, whereas McGinn was his hamstring, wasn't it? And he went off. Aaron says, Nedeljkovic for me over Bogard. I think he's done well when playing for us, and the lad needs game time to progress. This is the perfect fixture for him. Yeah, I tend to agree with that as well. Yeah, I do think Nedeljkovic is looking on it now, and recent performances of Bogard, even though I understand that that's not his position. I just think, then play the natural right back if that is the case then, which is Nedeljkovic.
Just touching on the Carabao Cup since we're on about Wickham, what did you make of the 4th round draw? because I don't know about you, I started to get a little bit nervous when it was getting towards the end. And it was Arsenal and Preston left, and I didn't know the other team. I'd forgotten.
No, it was Palace.
I'd forgotten it was Palace, but I'd seen City and Liverpool out, so I was like, okay, it can't be that bad. But yeah, thankfully, I think I'm happy with that draw. To be honest, but I know I've asked you the question, but I'm happy. Like that could have been a lot. When I seen Southampton Stoke, come on,
Yeah, facts in it, bro. There's a few early ones, wasn't there? I think that what like
Brentford. Is it Shrewsbury or something?
Brentford. Was it Brentford? They played a team with S. Is it Stoke Southampton?
Is it Shrewsbury?
I don't think it was Shrewsbury. I think it was a Championship side.
Yeah, it is.
I can't remember.
Look at
I remember Brentford.
Oh, Brentford, Sheffield Wednesday.
Sheffield Wednesday. That was it. Yeah. So yeah, Brentford got Sheffield Wednesday, and then yeah, obviously Stoke Southampton. I was like, okay, it's going to be tough. And then when you see Arsenal get Preston, you're like, and then yeah, to get a home tie first, which is really good, and then Palace, yeah, I take that, bro, because when you're seeing Liverpool, Brighton, Newcastle, Chelsea, City, Spurs, you're like, we've actually dodged one there. So yeah. I think Unai will play similar side, to be honest.
Yeah, it's got in it because I really want to take the Cup seriously, and I think we got a really good route because with that, I think we're such a good side. I think outside of City and Liverpool, Arsenal, maybe like if you avoid them, I think you have a chance of going to the final.
Yeah, facts.
Like, you've been given like Wickham away, Palace at home. We'll take Palace at home, but they might be favourites depending on how we line up. I'm just looking at our fixtures now. It's Bournemouth on the 26th of October, Palace on the 29th, Spurs on the 3rd of November.
It's Champions League, isn't it?
Club Brugge on the 6th of November.
And then Liverpool after
on the 9th of November. And then we get an international break. Jesus, man.
Bro, the fixtures, it's getting mad. It's getting to that time.
Jesus,
it's not, and that's all before the Christmas period. It's nuts.
Oh, we need. Yeah, so I think you're right. I think it might be rotation, but I just hope not too much because they'll beat us if we have a fully rotated side, I think.
Depends what Palace do.
I think they'll go full
rotate.
I think they'll go full strength just because of the.
I don't know. You say that, bro, but I remember when we played Wolves, I think it was.
The
final.
They played a rotated side, didn't they?
Yeah, and they had nothing to play for really at that point. I don't think they were in Europe at that point either. So some sides just rotate, and Glasgow might do that as well because I
feel like Glasgow shows more.
But they might be in a position where they need some points in the Premier League, and
hope so.
Have to. So, yeah, that'll be interesting to see when it gets round to that point. But yeah,
the fixture. I was just looking at the fixtures. The games are coming thick. We're going to be busy with these podcasts, but I'll tell you that.
Facts. The facts shows every other day, man. But with Kamara back in training, Mings back in training, that they'll be looking. I think that point they'll be looking to say, okay, I want to be part of the squad at that point. I think that is the perfect time for those two to be. As long as there's no setbacks, which we really hope. I think they'll mark that down in the calendar as that's it. That's the game we want to be available for. I don't know your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I agree, bro.
Yeah, so if that is the case, fingers crossed McGinn's back for that time as well. That means, and there's no more injuries, which is, we've already had a number already and it's only the first few weeks of the season, but fingers crossed we don't. We may have some senior players who need first team minutes who will be available to play in that Palace game, and it won't look as, I wouldn't say weak, I mean, it wouldn't look as inexperienced as it did on a Tuesday night.
I just wanted to touch on Ilan Jr.'s comments. He did an interview recently with Italian journalists, and he said he'd had a difficult summer, and it really just didn't go the way he expected. He did the preseason with Villa. He spoke to Emery, and he said he appreciated Emery's honesty. He said, "You're not going to play. You're really not going to play as much as you might have thought." And I guess that brings into questions: why did we sign him, etc. We understand the FFP implications, but I just thought it was a really mature interview, and he said, okay, straight away I'm going to jump at the opportunity to sign for Bologna, so all the best to him, man.
Yeah, facts, and he'll be returning to Villa Park in a couple of weeks' time. Whether he'll be starting, I did look at him recently. He didn't start the last game as well for Bologna, I think, in the Champions League, so whether he's worked his way into the side. I know he came on and scored that one, the goal the other week as well. But yeah, full credit to him. And I think around the signing now, we know we were looking for sellable assets. That's my opinion of it now. We looked at the age profiles, sent them both out on loan this season. And if they do make it into the first team and they prove to be of that level, then fantastic. But potentially as well, we could be looking to move them on this summer. I don't know your thoughts on that. I think that's my realistic viewpoint. I'm not going to be like, they'll come back. Okay, yeah, they'll be in the squad, etc. I'm not too sure that will be the case unless they really excel on loan. I don't know your thoughts on that, bro.
Yeah. I think Enzo's got more of a future here than Illing, just based on the style and how he plays. I think he's got a higher ceiling. But with Illing, yeah, what's the rules? If he was to score at Villa Park, yeah, what's the rules? Are we allowed to be mad at him celebrating? Because I don't think we are, you know.
Bro, did Cameron Archer score when we had the chance to go top of the league?
Did he score?
Well, against Sheffield United.
Yeah, he scored.
That's what I'm saying. So, and that was kind of forgiven and forgivable. And Cameron.
You mean?
That's what I'm saying. So like,
you mean?
Of course he can celebrate. Yeah, like of course he can. I mean,
the Archers was deserved though. Like he still held it down. I'm thinking like Illing. Yeah, if Illing runs to the corner flag and there's a slide, I don't think you can be mad at him. Like,
he hasn't represented the club in the competitive.
He ain't played a game, bro.
Like, yeah,
we kind of did him dirty as well. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That's just funny one, but I'm still not even sure if he's even allowed to play against us. I don't know what the rules are. So
I think he can. I think Champions League he can play against loanees.
Yeah,
I'm sure that's the case. Yeah, I'm sure I've seen that previously where sides have loaned out players and they've played against them in Europe. So yeah, I do think that is the case, and he will be able to play unless there was some form of clause in the contract for the loan.
But Illing, if you wanna improve your chances next season, just lose your man from the corner. Just don't chase your man from the corner, bro. Like let him go. Let him get the free header.
Yeah, let whoever's running off it, just let them get a free header at the near post and let us win the game, man. Just have a stinker. That would be great.
That's your best chance of next season, bro.
Facts.
But yeah, big up Barrenechea because he's starting for Valencia already, so he's done well.
Yeah, good to see our loan players doing well, man, at their respective loan clubs, because that only bodes well better for us in the future in terms of selection headaches, or sellable assets. So yeah, good luck to everyone out on loan currently, and there are a number of players who are doing extremely well on loan.
Wow, you picked up on the maestro Coutinho like skinning some man, ending some guy in Brazil. I seen like
give us a fee, Vasco. Just give us a fee, man.
Give us something, man.
That was kind of posted in jest, but some people took it literally. But yeah.
And then what did I see the other day? I was going for the Europa game, so I was just like, "Go on, then, Dendonka. Go on, then, Dendonka." You know them ones like he started with Anderlecht, and he might get a fee at the end. So you never know, man.
Yeah, facts, bro. Facts. It's all positives for Villa as long as it's not against them. But if it's not directly, if it doesn't directly involve them at all, and they're performing, that's better for Villa, isn't it? Because we did struggle to sell a number of those players and had to end up loaning them. And if they can perform to a level where we can command a fee from them, then fantastic.
Yeah, facts.
Anyway, bro, anything else?
Nah, that's all, bro. That's all. Just
I think that's
what Emery says tomorrow. Really.
Yeah, facts, man. Facts. Anyway, thank you all for joining. Another great stream and some great comments within the chat as well. Again, if you could subscribe and comment your thoughts on the game coming up and your score predictions as well in the comment. Kevin with a great comment here. Ipswich and Bayern Munich, it's the 80s again, facts. I went around there, but I know Ipswich were a very good side back then. And obviously, Bayern Munich, European Cup, playing the likes of Bayern Munich, Juventus as well, the year after, and facing them in a few weeks' time as well. It's all mad right now, and bro, let's just hope the winning continues, man, because I don't want to get off. I don't want to get off right now, because if we can win again on the weekend, that's 5 in a row. I mean, that's 4 in a row, sorry. And, 5 wins out of 6. It's looking very healthy, isn't it?
Very healthy.
And that's that. Anyway, thank you all for joining. We'll see you with a match reaction after the game, and also there'll be a breakdown as well on Sunday evening at 7. Appreciate you all. Up the Villa, and see you on the next show.